I'm, yeah, that was awesome. I'm slightly nervous. This is my first presentation today, so bear with me. So good evening. How you guys doing? Oh, come on. I came in all this way, and that's what I get. I knew you guys going more energy than that. Good evening. How you guys doing? Fantastic, fantastic. So as my dad said, my name is Ajay Gupta, and I'm a peak performance strategist, and I speak to about 300 to 350 companies a year. I work directly with Anthony Robbins. And let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I was born and raised in London, and at the age of 9 years old, right, so 1 year younger than Enzo back there, my parents physically dragged me to a Tony Robbins event. And there was about 10,000 people there, and on day one, has anybody been to a Tony Robbins event? Okay, excellent. Oh, wow, a lot of you, okay. So on day one, for those of you who have never been, you walk across 2,000 degree coals barefoot. Okay, we call this our fire walk. And I remember getting up to this fire, and I made my move, and I stormed across this fire, and I walked across, and my life changed. And some of you are probably wondering, how can a 9-year-old's life change at such a young age? And what changed was, I said to myself, if I could storm across 2,000 degree coals barefoot, there's nothing else I can't do. Like, if there's any other fires in my life, I'm gonna storm through and make possible, right? So I'm 24 years old right now. That was about 15 years ago, and I've been working for Tony Robbins for almost 3 years now. And I was flying from London to New York on a plane with Virgin Atlantic, and I get on this plane, and Tony Robbins happened to be sitting opposite me in this plane. And I remember calling my dad. I said to my dad, I was like, Dad, guess who's sitting opposite me on the plane? And the first thing he said was, it's Richard Branson. I was like, no, it's not Richard Branson, but I said, it's Tony Robbins. And my dad said, you have to do whatever it takes to sit next to Tony. And the thing, I was like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I'm not gonna, do whatever it takes. He's like, I promise you, you will never forget this experience. So I walked over to the guy sitting next to Tony Robbins, and I said to him, hey, you don't know who I am. You evidently don't know who the person sitting next to you is, but it'll mean the world to me if I could take your seat. And I think he was from Eastern Europe. I don't think he understood what I was saying. I was like, look, this guy changed my entire life, changed my parents' life, saved my dad from committing suicide years ago. It will mean the world to me if I could take your seat. He was still looking up and down. He had no idea what I was saying. And I said, look, this is my favorite watch. I want you to take this watch. That's how much it means to me. I think he understood. He's like, look, keep your watch, help me move my stuff over. And I moved all this stuff over. It was literally the other side of the plane. And I put my stuff down next to Tony's, and Tony said, AJ, that was effing impressive, right? And I was like, Tony, in life, you have to do whatever it takes, right? And I asked Tony many questions, and he asked me many questions. And one of the questions Tony asked me was this, and I'm gonna ask you the exact same question today. And this question is, what determines your success? What determines your success for those of you that are in Harvard in school? What determines your success in school? For business owners, what determines your success in your business, your health, your relationships? My friends, what do you think determines your success? Shout them out. Guys, what determines your success every day? Okay, taking action. Okay, what else? Integrity. Focus. Beautiful. Consistency, what you tell yourself. Okay, those are all fantastic answers. They form into one answer. Write this down if you have an iPad or even a paper. Your patterns, like patterns of behavior. P-A-T-T-E-R-N-S. Now, who here can tell me what is a pattern? Something you do over and over again. Okay, what else could a pattern be? A routine or a habit? Okay, beautiful. Now, speaking of habits, how many of you in this room have some good habits? Raise your hand. Oh my God. Did you guys brush your teeth this morning? Okay, that is a fantastic habit, okay? If you don't have your hands up, go next door, okay? Stay well away from me, all right? Now I'm gonna put 2 hands up for this one. How many of you in this room have some bad habits? Raise both hands. Oh wow, we're a lot quicker with our bad habits. I appreciate your honesty. Okay, so what I want everyone to do is I wanna show you how quickly and fast we as human beings can develop a pattern or habit. So I need everyone to stand up for a second. Put your pens and papers down, and your pens, everyone. And what I want you to do, actually I'm gonna stand up on this chair. All right, perfect. Can everyone see me? Okay, so what I want you to do is put your hands 6 inches apart from each other like this. Excellent. Now, Mark, that's not 6 inches, but I love the way you think, all right? He has 6 inches like this, all right? He's a big thinker, brother, right there. What is your name? George. Everyone look at George for a second, okay? George, that is like 16 inches, all right? Big thinkers in the room. Now, when I say 1, 2, 3, go, I want you to clap your hands. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, guys, are you ready? Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now, wait a second. I didn't say go, right? You see how quickly we created a pattern? I know it's a corny, stupid example, but by the 4th clap, you learned a pattern. Some of you clap because you saw me clap. Some of you clap because you heard me clap. And some of you are not going to point any fingers. You know who you are. You're just getting into clapping, right? So this I want you to do, my friends, is when I say 1, 2, 3, go, I want you to interlock your fingers and hold them together like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Now look down at your thumbs. How many of you in this room, raise your hand nice and high. If your left thumb is over your right thumb, raise your hand nice and high. And if you don't know your left and right, ask your neighbor next to you. Okay, keep it nice and high. Look around the room. Okay, wow, about 40% of you. Scientific research, is that you, Mark? Left thumb, okay, good, check this out. So scientific research shows that if your left thumb is over your right thumb, you are creative. You are incredibly sexy, and you're amazing in bed. Amazing in bed. Was that 3 out of 3, Mark? Right? He's like, AJ, tell me something I didn't know today, right? Now, how many of you have your right thumb over your left thumb? Raise your hand nice and high. Look around the room. I know there's more of you. Come on, raise your hand nice and high. Look around the room. By the way, this is what worried looks like, right? No, I'm just joking. Scientific research shows that if your right thumb is over your left thumb, you are the logical thinker of this group. And if anyone's going to make $1 million in their lifetime, it's most likely you. See, there was no excitement there. You see that? Right? Now, I see some of you in the back. Are you switching? Do I want the sex or the money? Do I want the sex or the money? Right? Does anybody in this room have their thumbs side by side before I move forward? Great, because I've been doing this exercise for like almost 4.5 years now, and I had one guy in the last 4.5 years. He came up to me at the end of the presentation and said, AJ, my thumbs are side by side. What does that mean? That's all he could think of through the entire workshop, right? And I said to him, brother, if your thumbs are side by side, that means you think you're sexy and you're not very smart, right? But I was kidding around with this guy. Go back to where your thumbs are. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Now only switch your thumbs, nothing else. And tell me how that feels. Weird, odd, maybe uncomfortable. How does it feel on this side of the room? Different. Why? Why does it feel weird, different, uncomfortable, awkward? Because I broke your what? Pattern. My friends, sometimes your patterns and habits get so ingrained in you that you begin to run an autopilot. What if the patterns and habits you do every single day, from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you close your eyes at night, are taking you down a road that aren't producing the results that someone with your talent, yes, my friends, you have talent, someone with your skill, someone with your knowledge truly deserves to be producing. Check this out. When your knowledge comes up against your habits will always win. So team, do I have your permission today to take you to the edge of your comfort zone, even if at times it may feel slightly weird, a little bit different, a little bit uncomfortable? Yes or no? Yeah. Yes or no? All right, take a seat, sexy millionaires. Let's get started, all right? No more switching thumbs. I promise that was all a joke, all right? So the second question Tony Robbins asked me, I'll never forget this, and I ask this question every single day, and I want you to write this question down because it's so powerful. And this question is this: what is the difference that makes the difference? What is the difference that makes a difference? In other words, let me give you an example. Imagine 2 people working for the same company in the same area in the same economy. One person in this office or team be producing phenomenal results, making more money than everyone in the team, closing more deals than everyone on the team, while the person literally sitting in the desk right next to them produced very little, nothing at all. Or better yet, why do some people have loving, amazing, passionate, intimate relationships, literally cannot wait to drive home to see their significant other? And you have other people in this world who are always in and out of one or can never seem to find one. Or better yet, why do some people, it doesn't matter how much time they seem to not have in the day, but they always make the time to go to the gym, eat right, work out 5 times a week, have shit tons of energy? Brother right here, how many times a week do you go to the gym? How many times a week do you go to the gym? 5, and it's very evident, right? And you have other people in this world can't even go to the gym 5, 6 times a year or a decade, right? Mark, right? Or they don't even know where the gym is, right? Right? It's around here. Or do you find some people in this world, my friends, that no matter what life throws at them, whether it's cancer, whether it's an illness, whether it's bankruptcy, whether it's a loss of a family member, God forbid, or a hurricane swept through their entire community, they always find a reason why they can do something. And you have other people in this world always find a reason why they can't. So what is that difference that makes a difference? Shout them out. What is that? Intention. What else? Habits. What else? Discipline. Those reasons are correct. I agree too. But there's one other answer that drives every single one of those answers. Write this down. Your belief system. All human behavior, my friends, is belief-driven. Behind every action, there is a belief. How you feel about any given subject determines your thoughts. Your thoughts then influence your decisions. Your decisions then determine your actions, or the lack of actions, which ultimately determine our results. True, yes or no? True, yes or no? Right? So if this is true, what is the definition of a belief? Please write this down. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. And there are two types of beliefs. How many types are there? Come on, guys. I know there's 20 minutes left. Come on, shout them out. How many types are there? Two, right? The first type of belief is called a limiting belief. A limiting belief. And what do you think a limiting belief does? Limits you, okay? It stops you from taking massive action. So can someone give me an example of a limiting belief?
I'm fat.
You're fat, absolutely. No, that's fact. No, I'm talking about, no, I'm just joking, right? All right, I'm fat. Rich people are evil, right? I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm too scared. Limiting beliefs are those voices inside the back of your head that stop you from making all the money you truly deserve to make, the body you've always wanted to have, even the relationship you always desire to have. I call those type of beliefs our dream killers. What are they called? Dream killers. The second type of belief, these are the ones that we love. And these beliefs are called empowering beliefs. And what do you think empowering beliefs do? Absolutely. Empowering beliefs, I can do it. I'm the absolute best. Nothing's going to stop me. Empowering beliefs allow you to take massive action, to get everything you want to do, everything you want to be, and everything you want to truly achieve in life. Does that make sense? Right? Now, let me give you a true life example of not only what a belief is, but how powerful a belief is and what can happen once you change a belief. So, true story. For almost 2,000 years, I want you to imagine this for a second. For almost 2,000 years, every single human being living on this planet Earth said it was impossible to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Many people tried, everyone failed. And it came to my attention a couple of weeks ago that countries around the world would be competing against other countries to see who could run that mile in 4 minutes. Nobody could do it. They would actually strap horses like animals to human beings during the practice sessions to see so they could run faster. Nobody could still run that mile in 4 minutes. Eventually, doctors and scientists from all these different countries came together, and they concluded that if anybody were to finish that mile in under 4 minutes, the inside of the heart would literally explode into pieces, and you'll die. That was the belief. So you had all these runners closing in on the 4 minute mark, but now the belief system said if they were to finish under 4 minutes, they would die. Until one man in 1954, can anybody in this room remember his name? Roger Bannister. From Great Britain. That's the only reason why I share this story, by the way. Right, Roger Bannister. And my friends, when Roger Bannister ran this mile in 1954, within 2 years, not 2,000, not 200, not 20, within 2 years, 27 people around the world broke his record. Why? How? They believed it could be done. So what does this mean for every single one of you, my friends? If there are people doing what you're doing what you love, that's all the proof you need to go and make that happen, but you have to change your belief systems. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes. Okay, excellent. Now, what's next? All right, beautiful. Roger Bannister. So, one quote, right? Everyone says, like, my dad had one quote, someone said that changed his life. One quote, I was 15 years old, I'll never forget it. And I was standing in the back of a UPW event, and Tony Robbins said this. He said, the secret to living is giving. And I remember sitting in the back row, I said to myself, what the hell does that mean, the secret to living is giving? What does that mean? And the next thing Tony said, if you don't give and grow, you die. And I said to myself, if I don't give and grow, I die. And that was my belief. So from the age of 15 all the way to this day, but all throughout high school, all I wanted to do in high school was give, give, give. I became president of NHS, president of student government, just so I can give my time. There's an organization in Orlando, it's still there today, it's called Give Kids the World. And this is an organization that sponsors terminally ill kids and their entire families to spend their last 7 days at Disney Universal. Every Wednesday we fed them ice cream. Every Saturday we fed them dinner. I don't say this next part to be in my chest, but I graduated my high school with a 4.89 GPA on a 5.0 scale with 352 hours of community service. You need 75 to graduate in the state of Florida because all I wanted to do was give. And the reason why I say this is because I am who I am today because I put others before me. I put others before me. Does that make sense? I put others first before me, right? And I'll leave with this one story. about giving. It was 2 years ago. It was around Christmas time, 1 week before Christmas. And I was living in Tampa, Florida, and I wrote on my Facebook, I said, hey, I'm going to be feeding the homeless tomorrow. If anybody wants to come join me, I would really love your help. And I don't remember how many likes I got, but I do remember how many people actually said, yes, I would love to come help you. 0. And the next day, I went to Walmart, I purchased like $175, $200 worth of food, and I was like, shit, I could really use some help. And I called my friend who was living in Tampa. I said, Tom, I really need your help. I bought all this food. I need to give it to the homeless. And he said, AJ, I'll come help you. So we're going out, we're in my car, we start giving out food to the homeless people. And there are a lot of homeless people in Tampa, but when you're trying to find something, we couldn't find them, right? So we're like searching, trying to find more homeless people. And I remember we're at a traffic light, like a red light, and there was a squad car, like a police car next to us. And I rolled down Tom's window, and I said, Tom, ask the police officer to roll down your window. And he's like, AJ, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, trust me, it'll be fine. Right? So I asked him to roll down the window. I said to him, officer, look, we're out here feeding the homeless, and we have food left over, and we want to find other homeless people. Can you direct us in a place where we can find some? And this guy literally got out of his car, came on my side of the window, and got down and said, what is your name? I said, AJ, and this is Tom. He said, I really want to thank you for what you're doing. I said, no, it's our pleasure. And he said, look, if you go down the street, there's a couple of homeless people on the right, and then behind that street, there's a church. You'll always find homeless people there. I said to him, officer, thank you. And I'll never forget, he said, no, thank you. And we go down to this church, and there's 2 homeless people outside this church. And the first guy, we asked him, are you hungry? He said, yes. We gave him some food. We said, are you thirsty? He said, yes. We gave him some water. The second guy, his name was Randy, and we asked him, are you thirsty? He said, no. I said, are you hungry? He said, yes. And Tom said, Randy, why are you homeless? Like, we've got a couple minutes to kill. Can you tell us more about? Every person has something to give, an offer, right? And he said, can you tell us more about your story? And I'll never forget this guy's story. His name was Randy. He was born and raised in Florida. He was making $125,000 a year, great business with his wife. His wife had an affair and left him. And then he became homeless. He was on the streets. And a year went by, and one of Randy's good friends invited him to a breakfast at McDonald's. And at breakfast, Randy went to use the restroom, and for some reason, one of the employees said to Randy, hey, that restroom is only for paid employees. And Randy said, well, not employees, paid customers. And Randy said, well, my friend bought my meal. I'm technically a paid customer. And the employee said, no, you're homeless, you can't use our restroom. And things got a little bit physical, pushing and shoving. And then Randy got out a knife from his pocket and stabbed the employee on the side, in the arm. Police showed up a couple minutes later. Randy went to prison for 7 years. Randy came out of prison. He's obviously homeless. And he loved writing books, and he loved writing. That was his passion. And one day he was sitting on the park bench, and someone came up to him, another homeless man came up to him with a knife and said, give me all your stuff. He was basically robbing him. A little bit pushing and shoving, Randy got stabbed, coincidentally, in the back. And the guy took his laptop PC, all his notebooks, and ran off. 6 months after that stabbing, someone took Randy to a church, the same church we saw him at that day, and he found God. And he became grateful for everything he had. And he decided that day that he's going to be a homeless person, feeding other homeless people. And that's what he did. 5 years later, he's feeding homeless people one night, and one of the homeless men comes up to him and says, don't you know who I am? Don't you want to kill me? Don't you know who I am? Don't you want to kill me? And Randy said, I know who you are. I forgave you. Who was that guy? Same guy that sat Randy in the back. And it was just, started crying because it was like forgiveness. My dad spoke about forgiveness. For a man to forgive someone like that was incredible. And I said to Randy, Randy, I'm 22 years old. This was 2 years ago. I'm 22 years old. What is one piece of advice you would give me today? And he said, AJ, I sit outside these steps, outside these churches, Monday through Friday, and I see people run through these streets on their phones, on their cell phones, with their iPads and their Bluetooths. Not one of them stop and just watch the wind rustle through the trees, the clouds that move by through the air that we breathe. Life goes by like this. Like Mike Milio said, 34 years went by like this. My friends, be grateful for everything you have and be in the present. Live every moment like it's your last moment. And I'll leave with this one last saying, and I have it on my bathroom mirror. It says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. My friends, today is a gift. And the biggest gift you can give anybody is the gift of your presence. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you had an amazing time today. And I do want to thank Mark and all the other speakers. Let's give them a massive, massive round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So Q&A, do we have time for Q? Is there, if you have any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer any questions.
What are you excited about?
Life. Just being able to, so my passion is to make a difference in kids. So just being like, I'm continuously growing. Like, because my friends, if you don't grow, you die. And I'm really excited about being able to share my experiences and helping people take their lives to the next level. Yes?
So do you work for children development with individuals or with companies?
With companies, yeah. I do a lot of company trainings, yeah.
What consulting do you do?
Yeah, it's companies, like delivering trainings for companies. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Cool. Yes?
What's the one thing your father taught you? What's the one thing you taught him?
Ooh. I don't know I'm sure I taught him many things. One thing he taught me was, about money. Oh my God. So I've always been chasing after money, always. And one thing my dad taught me is if you take your focus off the money will always come. And the moment I did that, it was life-changing. When you take the money, when you take all your focus of how to bring money, how to get money, how to, because money is it's just a vehicle to get what you want. But when I took my focus off money and putting it on other people, it made a huge difference in my life. Yeah. Anything else? Cool. Thanks. Oh, so yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. What's one thing I taught you?
One of the major things, and there's many things he's taught me, is the discipline on health. I mean, he's got a great physique, he's determined, he's unstoppable. Wherever he's going to go, he'll find a gym to work out. And I come nowhere near emulating that, but I'm so proud of the fact that he does that. And the great discipline that he shows it to me. But that does make me grow too.
You guys are great.
Cool. Thanks. Cool.
So, you help people change bad patterns?
Yeah, it's just, become aware of the patterns. So become aware of the patterns and behaviors that you do and change them.
So I'm very aware that oftentimes I will, instead of being, like if I write out my perfect day, and then I would not do it for reasons I haven't figured out yet. And they're amazing things that I'm not doing. I'd rather just go to leisure, maybe play basketball, or
Right.
in my head. I know I have to do this. I don't need a 30-minute block to do it. I don't do it. I don't know if it's lack of discipline or what, but I would rather just go play basketball all day, skip 3 calls with a billionaire, a client, or something, and I'm just totally in this mode where I'm not like laser focused and super productive. So I'd be 10 times ahead of where I am now. If I can commit my perfect day. So that's my bad pattern. Now what I do.
So human beings do things for one of two reasons. One is to avoid pain, or two is to gain pleasure, right? So if you can associate enough pain to one of your negative patterns and behaviors, then you will make a change. Or if you associate enough pleasure to it, right? So for me, my dad doesn't know this, but I was like 27 pounds heavier than I am now, and it was about 3.5 years ago. One of my good friends, he's like, AJ, if you continue eating the way you eat and continue living the way you live, you're never gonna get married, you're never gonna have a girlfriend. And that time I was like 21 years old, and the thought of never having a girlfriend was like, holy shit. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to lose all this shit, all this weight. And I went to the gym every single morning, 5 a.m., and I lost all that weight. So there was enough pain for me to change. There was enough pain in the decision, and I made a change.
But I'm intellectual, right? I'm very smart. So you're not, I wouldn't work with someone who isn't as smart as me or even smarter
Uh-huh.
or just different. But I've already thought of all the things I'm losing, right? That's obviously not helping.
Yeah.
It's not, can't be a solution.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm out there, what I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
The pain isn't, I mean, how does that work? Because what you just said, right? Like, you know, the consequences of your action.
Yes.
Very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I know, that's why I even know it's a problem. I know that there's consequences.
Yeah.
But there's not enough pain to get me stopped. So what do I do once I get there?
Find more pain. Or can someone else, is that true? Yeah? Go ahead.
Oh, I find more pain. I mean, I'm already in pain, so I'm talking to you.
Yeah. What is it for you? What is it? Be specific.
What's what? How do you find
What do you want to change?
Oh, I want instead of blowing off my day, I want to be super have perfect day. There's big goals. I got big dreams. I got things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I got people I want to serve, and I can't have a perfect day. I can't have the discipline to just knock my day out.
Well, there's no perfect day, in my opinion.
Well, what's better than the basketball court day?
Yeah. I wish I could answer this. I think.
You don't have to. I've been trying to answer it for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, you know what?
he's been through it. He's been through it.
Tell him if you have a problem that you play basketball, tell him what he's asking.
Okay. Oh well.
Thank you, Billy.
No worries. Any other questions?
Yeah, AJ.
Yes.
In 2015, what was your biggest realization?
Oh man. So along with what my dad said about money, I asked Richard Branson last year. I said to him, "What is one area of your life? I mean, he's worth over $5 billion. What is one area of your life that you want to take and improve to the next level?" And I'll never forget what he said. I'm sitting on a beach with him, and he said, "AJ, there are two areas. One is health, and the other is family relationships. Those are the two most important areas of your life, my friends." All right? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love money. We all love money, but I love what money cannot buy. Right? Money can buy the best house in Boston, but money can't buy your home. Or money can buy a cheap date, but money can't buy a passionate relationship. Right? So I focused 2015 on building my relationships and taking my health to the next level. So that was the biggest takeaway I got from 2015. Yeah. Cool. Yes. Paolo.
Regarding health, there are kids that they are being raised with the things I said. And these kids, they are super, I don't know, super talented.
Yeah.
Because imagine that their parents start doing this while they were pregnant with the woman. It's incredible. These kids, they are learning to speak Russian at 3.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it doesn't mean that you at 60 cannot do it, because I've seen people literally dying, prostate cancer stage 4, and they changed their lifestyle like that, 180, and today they run marathon.
Yeah.
So our body, if you give them the right inputs, it's perfect. You know?
Yeah.
That's my experience.
100%. Anything else? All right, cool. Going once, going twice. So,
Hey, real quick, I just want to do one final announcement for all the speakers. If you're still around, please come up to the front so we can just acknowledge you guys real quick. If you spoke today, please come up and get the crowd to give you guys one last round of applause, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Also, if you guys have Facebook, a couple questions came up today. Hey, when's the next event? You should be on the email list if you bought a ticket for this event, but if you're not on the email list, go to the Eventbrite.
Divine Mother every day, and my day goes great when I do that.
that's awesome.
And when I don't do that, it doesn't go quite as
Yeah. What is it called? Divine?
Divine. It's the guys and names of Divine Mother. It's
Okay,
in
cool.
Sanskrit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
awesome.
I think I'm kind of Indian.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Good.
Awesome.
I missed out a part of my spirit. Really awesome.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Good. Thanks.